Now they're rooting for the Ukrainians against the Russians, and they're trying to explain to us how they've always been against Russia invading Ukraine. Problem is, the tail of the tape demonstrates something else. They weren't and they aren't. And a little late, I might add. But as far as the New York Times goes, I've pointed out in Unfreedom of the Press and American Marxism that the New York Times supported Stalin against the Ukrainians with their propagandist, Walter Durandi, who they knew was a liar, and yet he was the Moscow chief correspondent for over a decade, 12 years. He was on Stalin's payroll. Stalin got him a girlfriend whom he impregnated. Stalin made sure he had the best food. Stalin made sure he had a car and a driver, as long as he would spew Stalin's propaganda, which he did happily. And he did it in 1932-33, when Stalin was starving to death the Ukrainians and mass murdering them in a horrific genocide that killed up to 5, some say 10 million people. And the New York Times effectively did the same thing when it came to Adolf Hitler, as their chief correspondent in Berlin had a sympathetic view of the Third Reich, and they mostly covered up what was taking place in Europe at the hands of Hitler. So that's Stalin and Hitler. And of course, we've talked about their support for Castro. But they're very concerned, you see, about the conservative movement. I wouldn't be. When I spoke at CPAC, a Mediaite got it right, for once. And I raised this topic. I wasn't booed. I wasn't jeered. I was applauded and cheered. So was Zelensky. So were the Ukrainians. And when I dissected the very short period of time we're given, nationalism and populism from Americanism, constitutionalism, individualism, and conservatism, again, the audience was embracing, cheering, and supportive. So the New York Slimes and other elements, they glom on the certain writers, certain radio and TV broadcasters, certain elements, to try and project a viewpoint on you that you don't have. There's an excellent piece in the American Thinker by Jack Cashel. The New York Times hasn't always cared about Ukrainians. The New York Times hasn't always cared about Ukrainians. It hasn't always cared about Jews. It hasn't always cared about republicanism and constitutionalism. The New York Times is a disgusting, evil, corporate propaganda operation. It is today as it was yesterday, as it was last century. Same with the Washington Post. And more recently with the news networks, which are newer than those newspapers. And certainly with so much of cable. No question about it. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Mark Levin on 104.3 FM, KSLM.
If you have a lot of high-interest debt to pay each month, the cost can quickly become overwhelming, and it can be easy to fall deeper into debt. But it doesn't have to be this way. With a quick call to American Financing, you can learn about options to consolidate debt with help from your mortgage. You'll get a much lower interest rate, and you'll only have one manageable monthly payment to focus on. It's a strategic solution that can mean up to $1,000 in monthly savings, maybe more. You really owe it to yourself to get a free mortgage review from American Financing so you can see just how much money you can save. There's no pressure, no obligation, no upfront or hidden fees. You may even be able to postpone 2 mortgage payments. But you've got to call right now. 888-900-1828. That's 888-900-1828. Or apply online at AmericanFinancing.net.
American Financing, NMLS 182334, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Do you suffer with chronic sinusitis, sleep apnea, snoring, dry mouth, or dry eyes? Hi, I'm Dr. Siegfried. And if you answered yes to any of these questions and you're desperate, I may be able to help you. I'm a chiropractic physician in McMinnville, Oregon, a leading expert in the bilateral nasal specific treatment, helping patients for over 35 years. and I performed the procedure thousands of times. Let's listen to just one of many happy patients.
I can sleep better. My energy level is up. I can breathe better. I feel better. And so if you have any kind of issues with sinus problems or breathing problems, you need to come have this done. It's the best thing I've had happen to me in 15 years.
To schedule a consultation, call my office at 503-472-6550. That's 503-472-6550. Or go to drsiegfried.com. Again, that's 503-472-6550.
This is Bo Smith inviting you to experience the difference of me working for you. I'll work circles around anyone you've ever had help you with yard projects. Hauling, cutting out those fallen trees, and the list goes on. I am honest, reliable, and the hardest worker you've ever seen, and by far the fastest. Saving you money by not having to pay someone for a job that runs on and on. You'll ask me to return again and again, that I guarantee. Call me. That's Bo Smith at 503-871-9216. That's 503-871-9216.
Folks, with all that's happening in the world, it's never been more important to work with people you can trust. I want to introduce you to our friends right here in the Willamette Valley, Team Canales with Churchill Mortgage. Katie Canales and her team can help you buy or refinance your home the smart way. Katie has the heart of a teacher and will carefully advise you on ways to save money, crush debt, and build wealth faster through a smarter mortgage. Invest 10 minutes now before you buy your next home or refinance. Talk to Katie Canales at Churchill to learn how to save money right here in the Willamette Valley. Call Katie now at 503-385-4040. Again, that's 503-385-4040.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100. Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. Programs are for select loan types only and are not available in all states or locations.
There's an old saying, if you don't do politics, politics will do you. And that's never been more true than right now. That's why you need to listen to my morning talk show, Political Coffee. I'm your host, former Representative Jeff Krupp, and politics impacts everything you do, which is why you need to be aware of the latest political news and how it might impact your life. So join us for some Political Coffee, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 a.m. here on KSLM, AM and FM.
Who can you trust in big media? A recent study finds Americans don't trust big media, and 65% of Republicans don't trust them at all. Now, Newsmax has become a trusted source for millions. They go to Newsmax.com for breaking news and watch Newsmax TV for the latest from Washington, New York, Hollywood, and the world. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone and watch it anytime, anywhere. Nielsen recently reported that almost 7 million cable viewers watch Newsmax, but not Fox News. Americans really are making the switch to Newsmax. Start every day with Wake Up America and Rob Finnerty. And watch the Newsmax team at night with Eric Bowling, Sean Spicer and Lindsay Keith, Greg Kelly, Stinchfield, Jen Pellegrini.